Now we're on our podcast. We made it.
It's still December of 2020. We have a couple of weeks to go. We have like a few weeks to go. We've got a long week.
I was gonna say, so hello, anyone who is watching us and are listening to us. We're not half, we're like less than half of TuesdayTea OG. So what's up? I'm Kennedy.
I'm Dyanni.
Even though right now we just said our full names, I also go by Ken a lot in this podcast. So if you hear anyone say Ken, that is me, my annoying voice. Welcome.
My name's Dyanni. You can call me Dee because that's what I go by. I don't know. We just hate our name. We hate ourselves, so we just made up new personas. I can't.
So for our first episode, if you actually came from another podcast from our friend Daniel, he is a part of TuesdayTea. He does PAL, the experience, right?
The way you did that.
I feel like such a bad friend. I'm like, is it PAL's the experience or is it just like PAL's TV?
It's PAL's TV, but the way you did, you were like, here, let's confirm. Don't get me wrong, we are so grateful to be on PALs. Like that's, I think, something that we cherish. We are PALs. We are PALs. It's a community for like growth. PAL stands for positivity, appreciation, love, and support. And one of our friends, he basically he's the main creator in informing people and getting people involved with positivity, especially at a time right now where people need, support in any form. And gratefully, we were given the opportunity to be interviewed. I don't know why. I'm just kidding. Because we care about things.
But yeah, if you're from PALs, or we are PALs, as you all know, Daniel is one of the main creators of that, but he is also going to step in here and there. Sadly, not on this episode because finals are happening. But future episodes, he will come. So if you are from the PALs, welcome to TuesdayTea and thank you for saying hello. During my interview, I can't speak on Dyanni's because I don't know what they talked about yet. So he hasn't told me.
I haven't told you.
But I know I mentioned our first episode would come out December 8th. And we're filming December 8th. So you might get this a day late or a few days. It's fine. We apologize.
We've had a really interesting week individually and collectively. I think we just needed, here's the thing, we did not plan for the obstacles coming ahead. That's what I think we did not plan. Life waits for no one. And we decided upon that we would take some time. And then today we were like, you know what? I'm free, you're free. Let's make this happen. And we did. And we're here and we're present. All right. So things to know about us, I feel like, before you jump into or get off of our podcast. We like food. We like Grey's Anatomy. We're here for any TV show and movie because COVID has kept us indoors. What else? I don't have much to say.
I was gonna say, so for me, you will all see throughout this whole TuesdayTea experience, I'm not a film major, so I'm a wannabe film major over here. So it's okay for our listeners if you're also not a film major and they all start talking about films and use words. If you're lost, I'm lost. I'm not going to know what's going on either. So I'll try to ask some questions along the way, not just to help you guys out, but also myself.
What do you mean?
What's going on?
Already confused. Kennedy's a psych major, so if she starts talking about psychology stuff, I'm also here to translate. No, I don't know. Most of the stuff you're gonna hear is in my opinion, you're just gonna hear about my life. I'm just gonna get on, you're gonna hear me ranting. Because I feel like there's a lot been going on, and in general, I feel like sometimes you just need to go to a place to just rant or just hear people talk, and like maybe you might find something that you might connect with us. I don't know. It could be. We appreciate the support. We appreciate people listening. And more than anything, we hope you feel just as much as part of the conversation as anybody sitting in front or listening in the car or watching us. I don't know why you would watch me. But yeah.
But, we are funny. As you can see, we laugh at ourselves just as much as we also laugh with each other. We decided to have it on YouTube if you want, and you're still watching us and you're like, they're boring to like look at. Maybe to listen, but hopefully just like to watch. You can at least have us in a different tab as you're doing like your schoolwork or something. Or if you're listening on Anchor, you're like going about your day and you're like, hey, they're kind of funny, let me like follow them. We appreciate you.
Yeah. Like Kennedy said, you bored of us, just listen. I don't know what else to cover other than, I don't know if we're supposed to discuss how we look. No. Anything in our family life. I think more than anything, I'm going to talk about like family life and friends and things that's going on, relationships of any kind. I'm going to give code names though to people because, I don't want to get arrested,
I'm like, the internet is messy, so we're going to give any code name.
But so am I.
If one of us knows the person, we're going to be like, hey, Louise? And we're going to be like, like Louise.
Do you know Kevin? Kevin.
And so then, like, as the story goes on, we're kind of all filled in, but you guys are still like, you're filled in, but we just want to protect the names for the privacy of the other people in our life. Even if something goes on in the group, we might be like, yo, code name for this person, but we do love everyone in the group. We love everyone that we've ever met. Never gonna come out here and bash fully and be like, this person sucks, don't do it. We're nice, respectful, and hopefully you want to join along in this little journey that we are creating.
Episode 2. Episode 2, we just go all out. Oh God. What's on your mind? What are we talking about today? What are we?
Okay, so I was thinking, like I said, if you're from the whole like pals thing that Daniel has created, hello. You probably saw my thing that said, we're gonna do episode 1. We're gonna talk about the pandemic and like what's going on in our life and mental health. Hi, welcome to instead episode 0. Instead, I just kind of want to talk more about like the life experiences that have been going on the past like 5 days. Just so that you all know why I'm not doing episode 1 right now. But also give updates to Dyanni.
Me too. Yes. You know what? I think, pals, you guys got to know. You got to take some mental health days for yourself. I mean, or like, life comes at you basically with a flying, very fast, high-pitched ball to your face. And sometimes you're looking down and you don't expect it. But let me tell you this. Episode 1 is coming.
Episode 1 is going to come later. Maybe we'll have our other people, but I think we should at least also do like the first little part that we were going to do for episode 1, which is at least introduce ourselves. So there's gonna be 5 people in the group total. Right now there's 2. I didn't leave myself out.
I'm not a person. I'm a pet. I'm here.
So basically, as you know, now I'm Kennedy, psychology major. Going to school, but we're not gonna talk about that this episode. We will, but we won't, because that's a whole thing on itself. But I actually met Dyanni at our community college.
Tell him.
So I actually met her. I was doing an American Sign Language class because I need a language. And at first I was like, look at this. She's sitting in the front, she's talking to everyone, she's signing to everyone. And I'm in the back of the class being like, we're never gonna be friends. She's not gonna be my main friend. She's gonna be like, she is boring.
No. Let's just fast forward to just like, well, here's the thing. I met you actually. I had heard through another friend about who you were. Madison. Madison kind of filled me in, and she was like, oh, this is my best friend. We've been friends for a long time, yada, yada, yada. I was like, she sounds cool. She sounds cool. And then she was saying, oh, she's going to go to this college. You guys should be friends. And we ended up, some issues happened like later on into the semester where we ended up, like, I met her a little bit more, and fast forwarded to, and we're here, we're thriving. And I was like, this girl's so funny. She's really funny, really smart, really kind. And we're on the same wavelength when it comes to just like stupidity in life. I vibe. And we are here right now. We also met through other friends through there. Daniel, he will come up in the later episodes, but he's doing finals, like she said. We had met through CSM through some classes, and Kennedy and Daniel bonded. I bonded with him. I thought he was really dorky and really nice.
I'm like, I didn't know any of them. I literally met my whole little TuesdayTea group because me and Dyanni at community college, we got a little bit closer. Then we transferred to the 4-year, and I was kind of like, hey, I'm alone, no one's on campus. He's like, I'm here. Meet me at the library. And then I believe that's when I met Juan, which you guys will all meet in later episodes. And that's when I met Daniel. And then Daniel actually brought in Jade. So technically none of this would happen if I did not know Dyanni.
Exactly. Woo, and I'm happy it happened because I also didn't know anybody either. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to go to school and go home. Because like that was like, which I still do. But I like to have friends aside from my 4 walls of my home. And I did. And I'm super grateful because it's been a long lasting and rewarding friendship. Jade, we just adopted like into the next semester. She's very smart. I think Kennedy, you knew her, and then you brought her to like the group to hang out. You're like, oh, this is my friend Jade. And then I think
I'm like, no.
When?
I actually was not the one. I don't know if you were there for the official meeting then.
I wasn't.
It might have just been Daniel and Juan. All I know is that we were hanging out in like our little area of college, you know, with all the 50,000 stairs. They made me work out every day that we all want to hang out.
Because we couldn't find a spot to just talk smack. Little did we know, we were like in the quietest library ever. And you could hear us echoing, like laughing. And it's so, the stuff, okay.
Everyone's on the computer studying for finals. We're like laughing and crying.
I had a meltdown literally in the middle of that freaking area. I remember. Oh my God.
I'm like, it was a lot. But I actually met Jade. I guess you weren't there. And it was Daniel and Juan. Because Daniel was like, hey, I'm hitting up one of my other film major friends. Is it okay that they come and hang out? And I was like, yeah, let's go. And he's like, nah, she's gonna be here in 2 minutes. And then in comes Jade being like, hey, what's up, guys? She's like all nice and chill. That's like her whole personality. So then I guess like you met her maybe like the week after then.
Yeah, because I definitely thought you brought her in. That and also I just don't remember things. I'm just like, thankful that my head is attached to my body. I don't leave it everywhere. Yeah, and then Juan is our little sticky glue. Actually, no, I feel like Dana's our sticky glue. Everyone's our little sticky glue. If we like got rid of anybody in our group, I feel like it would be really sad.
I was like, it would be me. That's where I would go, and I was like, peace out, bud. Love you guys. I'll see you. I don't know when.
This is my exit. Juan is just like the firecracker. He's the soul. As soon as he shows up, it's like another level of like intensity. Like I don't even know. Like when he shows up, we're like, crackheads. And I kid you not. Thankfully, Juan hit me up, and thankfully we were able to, because we knew each other through, and he was going to, but he was doing broadcasting and television. So thankfully we were able to like connect and be friends and everything, and it's been really rewarding. I'm talking about him like it was a resume. He's such a good friend. He's a very like positive, hypey person. He's super beautiful, which I'm like, stop. And super funny. He's super smart, really hardworking, really attentive. And yes, as soon as he hops on here, we're gonna be spilling tea left and right. Oh my gosh.
I was gonna say also an important thing to know, as you guys are gonna be meeting all of us, like throughout any conversation, one of us is probably just gonna pop in and be like, hey, surprise, I'm in your meeting. We're all not the same. Or at least I don't think so.
No, we're not.
I feel like we're all not the same. Like we have like some similarities, but it's not like too much when it's like we don't know what to talk about. Yeah. We're all so different in the way that we act and talk, but it works so well. So every episode, it's always gonna be different because we're all different. Yeah. And you'll see through our personalities.
Yeah. Honestly, we have done group chats where we've talked for hours and hours, and that's the reason why I think this podcast has come to light. Also, we have nothing to do. And COVID, with COVID happening, it's been kind of hard to see each other. So we've been video chatting a lot, and I appreciate like talking to everybody, because sometimes like I think you need to have people, no matter there are various forms of support, and I'm very grateful to have a bunch of friends who are willing to listen to my stuff. Kennedy especially, she's been listening a lot. She has been a main contributor to, she's my therapist. I'm gonna hire her.
I was gonna say, basically it's like I'm the therapist, but I'm also the therapist who needs another therapist. Because I'm constantly over here like contacting someone in the group being like, I'm crying, I'm really depressed, and then like they all kind of jump in at once. And I'm like, okay.
Thank you for the support. Runs away.
Yeah.
Me. Yeah, so let us know if you guys have any topics or any things you guys want to talk about, anything that interests you. Like I said, we're going to be talking a lot about what's happening right now in our lives and around us. We appreciate the support. We appreciate the incoming people who are just going to sit there and listen to us rant about life. But yes, we appreciate it.
So
y'all,
that's our little introduction. Thank you. Just going into a little bit of tea. Just things that have happened within the past few days. Just so you guys kind of get like little teasers about like other topics that you would hear about. Do you want to go first, or do you want to like ask me anything that I never covered really?
You can go first, because I'm trying to like pinpoint where to start, to be honest.
Okay. So then I guess I'll start. So let me set the scene for everyone. So we were actually going to film this podcast on Friday, but my life didn't really go that well. I'm actually looking for a plug also because my computer is going to die. And I don't want to die on you guys. So give me 2 seconds.
Let me just hop in and just be like, so I've just been dealing with, I'm not like, when it comes to relationships, I feel like you have to be such a good communicator, but I am not I think that I'm straightforward sometimes, but I'm not the best communicator. I feel like I keep trying to be, and I feel like I'm at the point, you know how you have to just like write it on a sign and just be like, this is what I feel. That's what I'm trying to do recently. There's nothing wrong with that. I may be a little blunt about it, but I'm very grateful that I'm just, you gotta know what you want and how to say it. And if you don't know how to, write it down, type it out, call a friend, talk to a stranger. I don't care, because sometimes it's needed. Because if you don't say the right thing, you're gonna cry. So that's my tea. That's a very soft. That's a soft.
That's a good point. Like, I am here for you. I love you. I support you. But I don't know.
My therapist already be like, I don't know either. Listen, when I tell you we were all kind of like, this ain't gonna go so well. I was flipping out. Oh, but I'm fine. We're fine. Everything's fine. Just what you gotta do is read the whole fine print. That's what I think you gotta do. You gotta reiterate and ask the person, is this what you meant and said? Because when you don't, you might sink into depression. And so that is my tea. But it all happened like Thursday, Friday. Like it was a mess. Like literally,
and Saturday.
We stayed up and just like, how like people are like that's what we were doing. It was intense, and I was like, listen, y'all, I'm done. 2020 coming for me towards the end. I thought it was fine. I thought it was safe. I'm not safe. You want to start?
I'm like, as he was dealing with all of that stuff, let me set the scene. Also, I'm sorry, I had to like connect computer and everything. I was struggling with my whole school situation. So for me, I have to go to a specific school for a master's program in psychology. Surprise!
You go on masters.
So I was trying to do that. And with this, my classes go by really fast. And I was like, okay, I got it. I'm fine, whatever. I have like a 99.8%, and I just have to do the final exam. And only get 40% on this final exam. So I don't care. I'm like, it's fine. It's cool. I start this final in the morning rather than at night. I normally do all my homework, exams, and whatever at like 6, 7 o'clock at night. Tell me why. Well, one day I'm like, I'm going to do it early. I'm on question 13 out of 50. My power goes out. I have no power. The internet's down. My whole town, because now I live in this small little town, there's no power. At all. And I'm over here like, okay, because I'm trying to do the calculations in your head, You're like, okay, well, if for some magical reason out of the 50 questions, all 12 of them are right, you times that by 2 for 100%, I only got 24.
I don't know how you were doing the math, because I was like, oh, she in trouble. I was already like, oh man. I wasn't even, I was working when this was happening. I was like, oh.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay. So everything is like error besides like my testing that literally is still doing the countdown. And I'm over here like, I'm still doing a countdown, but like if I'm clicking the answers, it's not gonna go through. I have nothing. I tried doing it on my phone because as long as there's a countdown, there's time, you can switch to a different device. So I tried to use my 4G. I don't know how power works. I am not the smartest here. But my 4G on my phone wasn't even working. So I couldn't do it that way. I'm like calling some friends. No one's picking up their phone. I understand some of my friends do work. Some of them might have been sleeping at like 12.
No, I was working.
I know. And luckily Daniel came through. Daniel from this group, he came through. And he's like, I got you. I was like, I have all the questions on my thing and I can tell you the answers because I can see like all the stuff. But my test was open notes, open textbook, open everything. I can't access any of that because it was all online. Like all of my stuff was online. I didn't print out anything. I know that's my fault, but can't do it. So I'm like, going through with Daniel, I'm seeing the countdown. He's like, oh, it's fine. Like, it's cool. Like, we got this. And I'm like, Daniel, there is only 30 minutes left. And I have more than 50% of the questions to still do. We do it. I'm struggling. He submits it for me. And I said, what is the total? And because it's me and how my life is, I thought it was like a joke. He's like, you got 38.
My God.
And I'm like, a 38 out of 50? And he's like, no, you got 38 out of 100.
Oh, my heart.
Remind you, I needed a 40, 40. I got a 38, a 38.
You know how shitty life gotta be on your side when they're just like, I'm gonna take away 2 points. She gonna be close, but not that close.
Which is basically just one question. I needed one more question to be right to get the 2 points.
Right.
And I thought it was very ironic because I was up until 2 a.m. that day, like before the exam and everything.
Mm.
And I was like, I want to have a good cry today. Like, I really want to cry. Like, I want to be emotional. Because, like, I just feel like sometimes, like, as I know in psychology, sometimes you need to, like, cry and let out emotions.
Yeah.
So you can do something to make you cry, but it's, like, a lot of built up crying that you need to do. And that night, I was like, no. Yeah, so I was like, no, it's fine. I don't need to cry now. I'll cry, like, later in the day. I go to bed, I wake up, the whole exam thing happens, I start crying my eyes out. Another thing that's ironic is if you're actually from the PALS experience in TV and everything that Daniel does, my video for his thing goes up that day, goes up Friday, December 4th. The day in the morning that I said, I'm going to have a good cry, but I'm going to do a final, so I'll wait until after. And, like, my whole positivity video is going up. And I'm over here, like, I hate it. I hate it here. I don't understand why this is happening.
Oh, my God.
So then, like, I'm crying to Daniel. Daniel's like, it's fine. I've been having a lot of issues with this school already. Dyanni knows I never got accommodations for the whole like 6 months I've been at the school. And my accommodations are a lot. I have a learning disability, so like there are just some things that like I need to help. Never got them. When I asked my teachers for help, they're like, you should do A, B, C, D, E, F, G for these classes. And I'm like, okay, but I'm in your class. That's not gonna do anything.
Yeah.
So I got no help. And then I messaged my professor and I was like, hey, my power went out. And I got like all kinds of proof. I had all kinds of photos from my computer, my internet, our alarm system, from the police department, which I didn't tell you. Because the police department actually called my mom and was like, hey, because my mom's at work. But I can't contact my mom because there's like no way.
Oh my gosh.
So I sent him all kinds of evidence and he's like, I'll take a look at it. What does he mean? I'm over here like, are you kidding me? Like,
so mad.
So I was like, okay, but I couldn't access my notes, my textbook, anything, like all this stuff. And he's like, I'll just take a look at it. So I tell him I'm going to send a grievance to the school and him because for those of you who don't know, I didn't know this. Daniel Auntie gave me the information. A grievance is basically something happened on an exam or in the class or something, and you weren't able to have the same opportunities as your other classmates. In this case, my power went out and he was not actually gonna give me another attempt. And he was like, oh, I still have to look at it, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I'm gonna do a grievance. I also never got accommodations. I can come to your school and like have all my evidence go against you and our disability resource center. And all of a sudden, this man switched and was like, oh, I'll give you a second attempt plus 10 extra points, extra credit for everyone.
Yes. And look, a lot of you may be like, wow, or like, you know what, that's so crazy that happened on both ends, just like, but at the same time, you kept hustling for it. You guys have to understand, like, and just a little backstory, Kennedy has been working so hard to get her bachelor's and master's, and it's not like her entire class, she was struggling. This girl was getting like A's. And to get to this point, just to get like 2 points off because the power was like, not today. Because your dumbass was like, look, I want to cry today. And God was like, okay, I guess you do.
Yeah, like, I have like all kinds of accommodations that I've normally gotten throughout my whole life because of my like learning disability and everything. For those of you who don't know, I have dyslexia. Learning disability also sucks with like my writing and comprehension and everything else. So I was supposed to get like note taker, advanced notes, listening. I didn't want any of that.
Yeah.
I just said, can I get like extra time on exams, which is normally time plus time and a half. So if your thing is like an hour and a half, 90 minutes, then you deserve 90 minutes plus half of that, which is 45.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like 2 hours and 15 minutes. I didn't even get that. And then plus everything else going on, I was like, I got 99.8%. And in grad school, you need an 83% to be passing, which is a B. After the exam, before my retake, I had, no joke, an 82.98.
But before that, you had an A, right?
Yeah.
She had an A before the test, and then a B minus. It dropped to a B minus. That's so annoying because you worked. I would have been so mad. Dude. Shout out to Daniel. Daniel was a friend. He is such a good friend.
I know Daniel's like real MVP.
He's the glue. He's the glue. When I tell you, I would have been freaking out. Would have cried and just been like, you know what? I'm gonna burn down this school. I would have been so mad.
I cried.
I just,
as you know.
Yeah, and just so people I understand, like, because you have dyslexia, you need that extra stuff. Like, it's hard. You have to take the time to reread things very carefully. And that's like, to me, I don't know how you can't accommodate that. And I understand it's hard with COVID, but it's like, that should be a given.
Also, it's like against the law too, because I wasn't having the equal access to education.
Right.
But they were kind of like, So then I was like messaging Daniel, me and Daniel are doing it, blah, blah, blah. Everything going on. I retake the test. Luckily for me, like I got like a really good grade. I passed the class with an A minus. Yes. But me and Dyanni were still talking about it. And she knows I was struggling with my first class.
Yeah.
So we talked about it. Then I talked about it with my mom. I actually talked about it with my success coach from the school. And I was like, hey, because the first time he called me, like the very first time, he's like, I'm your success coach. And I was really struggling with my first class. He's like, do you need to talk about anything? And I was like, I'm really close to dropping out. I said that 3 weeks into like the first class. Now I'm in like the second class and I'm over here like, he doesn't talk to me. He went MIA. So I just kind of decided this school wasn't the best fit for me. So I'm actually applying to different schools.
Where's the little effects reaction button? I'm going to give you a little woo because you deserve it. I would have been so like frustrated. How How do people become success coaches, like, for schools? He just dipped on you. You were just like, listen, I'm struggling. And then you're just like, not for me. No, thank you.
I told him about all my concerns, and he was like, ooh, like he jumped out a window.
He was like, ooh, no, I got problems of my own. My life, I kudos to you for pushing and trying. Shout out to Daniel for helping. I would have been a mess.
I'm like, shout out to you. I also hit you up right after, and I was like, Dyanni, I've been trying. I can't film today.
I appreciate it. I was just like, something must be up. And then I was just like, I'll just wait. And then I texted you, you're like, no, you gotta listen to this. And I was like, oh my God. I would have cried. I would have cried. My dad heard like the first part of it because I was helping him with something. He was just like, I would fight someone. He was like, I would fight someone so badly. And I was like, yeah, you work so hard. And then this is not a flattering angle. You work so hard and then, that happens. But 2020 was testing you and you made it through. You made it through that one. Oh my
That's
gosh.
another thing. We're discussing this in like episode 1 about like 2020 really like testing us.
You guys, there's some things that have been going on. I have a question, just from a friend to a friend.
Oh.
Do you think that I don't know if this is a conversation podcast worthy.
I'm like, no, we're still friends. We're still friends. I was over here like friend to a friend. I was like, you're talking to our viewers. You're not talking to me.
No, you know what? At this point, our viewers know too much. You're friends now. Everyone's a friend now. You know what? Listen, I don't know if this is podcast worthy, but if you're in a relationship with somebody and they say, listen, I'm moving to a different state. You want to come with? You can come with me. We can buy a home there. Would you go? Would you leave everything and go?
I'm like, guys, you have to like let us know in these comments down here.